Hey guys, this is Anna.
I'm Ashley.
And we are starting our own podcast channel, obviously. It's going to be called Healing Wayward Women. And our focus is obviously going to be towards women and mothers and those in addiction, those that have been dealing with domestic abuse.
Knowing your worth, setting
Right.
boundaries.
Yeah, it's a big deal to us. You know, Ashley and I both have been through some really dark times for a long time, over a decade really. And we've spent the last 10 years trying to heal and understand why we made the choices we did. So number one, we can grow as women and as mothers and as human beings. And number two, so we can break those generational chains and traumas and not pass those down to our own children. And what we've noticed is there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of self-help, but there isn't a lot of raw truth out there for what it's like for women raising children and struggling with trying to be both mom and dad and what the weight of the world does to them. So
And we want this to be a safe space for all women to come to find those demons, face them, look them in the face, and heal.
Right.
So.
And if you hear the stomping, so sorry. There are toddlers upstairs running around, right? Because that's the reality of our world.
Right.
You know, we are not podcast or, internet celebrities by any means. We're two, average women from Indiana who feel the need to share and enlighten people, especially women, so that they can take charge and stop being walked on and used and an autopilot. That's what I call it. Most of us are an autopilot.
Yeah.
It really is. So with that being said, I kind of feel like maybe we should start with just a little bit of background about us so you can understand why we believe, we are able to share things and host this podcast. My name's Anna Campbell, and I am 38 years old. I have two boys. Austin is 18 and Adam is 17.
I'm Ashley Broughton. I'm 38 years old. I have 3 kids. Carter, he's 13. Hunter is 5, and Ella is 3. I'm a recovering addict. Had a lot of codependency issues, people pleasing. Just realized my worth at 36. So
it can happen.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I'm from Indiana as well. Born and raised.
Yeah. Ashley and I kind of have a funny backstory. In high school, we met each other. We were partiers in high school, and we had partied together, and we went our separate ways and didn't see each other again for 10 years.
Until we met each other at rehab.
Right? So, who knew? It's a place. It's a catch-up place.
Right.
So, it's a wonderful facility. It's in Richmond, Indiana, and it's called a Crossroad Christian Recovery Center for Women with Addiction. It was a wonderful program, completely free, no government funding. The town of Richmond does an amazing job at bringing God and love and teaching these women.
Solely ran off donations.
Yeah,
It's an amazing place.
They cannot write their own rules that way,
Yeah,
really, you
yeah.
know. So we each spent 4 months there. We graduated together December 22nd, 2013. And funny enough, Ashley is also my sister-in-law now. Yay, right? That worked out. So her and my brother, fell in love and had 2 beautiful children together. And we have been partners, I guess, in our healing journey for 10 years. That's a good way of putting it.
And it has not been easy.
No.
Especially there's been relapses and just hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
More than once.
Yeah.
But all that had to take place for us to be where we're at today.
Yeah. And I think the way I wanted to start this video, and I think it's important, is to address, it's what I call light and dark. All right, and it's basically good and evil. It exists in every single one of us. Every single one of us. No matter how good you think you are capable of evil. You are capable of darkness. And they call it, in the world, they call it shadow, like the shadow part of you. And for me, for a long time, I was trying so much to hide and deny some parts of me that I just thought were not good enough, that my family would not, want to see for me, or that I truly believed wasn't right about myself. And what that led to was a bunch of numbing with sex, numbing with drugs, and basically living in an autopilot survival mode for a decade.
Right. Yeah.
Similar for you too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, for me, a lot of it, I had abandonment issues, a lot of father or daddy issues. my dad wasn't really present in my life, and then the men that I did have in my life, I was molested and used like a sexual toy, I guess, or what it looked at that way. And then, so I started drinking at like 14, and then it was a full-blown alcoholic with a fake ID by 15, and just progressed. And I constantly was I just didn't want to feel like, and then once you get in that state of mind, then you feel worthless because of what you're doing.
You're full of shame.
Yeah, and so then now you're using, to cover that as well. So
It's like an endless cycle,
it's
right? You're like a dog chasing its tail. And so for me, it was, I thought, my family consists of, it's very patriarchal, and they are successful businessmen, successful business owners, and they come from a generation where men don't talk about your feelings, and feelings make you weak. And so I grew up and believing that as a woman, I had less worth. I was not as tough, I was not as strong, I was not as capable. And so I tried to deny the femininity within myself, and I found it as a weakness. And so I became kind of violent, honestly, and I physically hurt a lot of people with that rage and anger, because as a woman, you cannot deny your empathy or your nurturing nature. And that is the beauty of what makes a woman a woman. But being a teenager, hormones, puberty, you don't understand any of that. And all you're trying to become is this idea of this perfect person that's supposed to exist in society. And I was definitely not in that box at all.
For me, I was more like a closet. Like, I was such a people pleaser that I would hide, and make everyone else think it was okay, because I was so feared of being judged.
Right. Yeah.
So, it literally took me 36 years to not give a fuck.
Right. It's so good.
Yeah.
Right? It's so nice.
But it is so much work. It is so much work, but it's so worth it. The work is so worth it.
It is. And that's what we're going to do here. The whole point of this channel, we are going to talk about, I have had extreme domestic abuse cases. My husband was a professional boxer, right? I want you to think about that for a minute. His hands were all done up with titanium plates and screws, and he fought at MGM Grand. He fought, at Madison Square Garden. He fought on the Floyd Mayweather card. So he wasn't just the, Indiana professional boxer. He was worldwide. He was from England. And
he was Rica Suave.
Yes, he was. Girls, he was charming and handsome.
Sweep her off her feet.
Yeah, and I fell for it. And I took a 7-minute beating from that man. It was incredibly brutal, And then drug addiction. I went to school, became a mortician. I found my husband dead. I took care of my best friend's body. And this is all in my sobriety. So we're going to talk about suicide. We're going to talk about drug addiction. We're going to talk about what it does to our children.
Yeah, we're going to talk about parenting, stay-at-home mom, single mom, doing mom and dad,
Right.
Knowing your worth, self-worth, self-love, setting boundaries.
Yeah, that's huge. You have to.
Yeah. So I really hope you guys like this video, and you'll give Healing Wayward Women a follow. I'll tag below all of our handles on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah, and obviously, as you can tell, we're stuttering a bit.
Yeah, we're
We've done
nervous.
this before.
This is our first
We're
one.
gonna get better. I promise. Right? You should have seen us setting up the green screen. Because it really isn't whatever she makes it eventually behind me. So we are gonna get better, but we're just honest and we're real and raw, and there's no filters with us. We want to talk about the dirt and the ugliness, because in order to heal, you are going to have to face your ugliness and your demons and your dark side and make peace with them. Doesn't mean you engage in that behavior, you become that person, but there is a level of acceptance that is needed in order for you to heal.
Yep, and if you're struggling right now, go ahead and post in the comments what you're feeling with, and we'll try to comment back to anybody and just follow us with this journey, and hope you heal with us along the way.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.